Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the next podcast. This podcast, it's gonna be about my experience on when my parents got divorced, and this episode of this podcast could help some parents to understand kids' point of view or what your child could be feeling why they are acting the way they are, or kids who kids who have or currently going through their parents being divorced. So I'm just going to get right into the podcast and my experience and so on. At a young age, my parents got divorced. When split up, they split up at the beginning of January/February of 2011, but the divorce was legal in 2012. So I'm going to be starting from the beginning of 2011. So, like I said, it happened in January, February, so about a month or two before I turned 11. My birthday is the end of March, so the night when it happened, my parents were having a huge fight, and of course, there was alcohol involved. I don't I don't remember nor know what it was about and whatnot. It's probably just life in general. I'm assuming my mom had enough, so she had practically told my dad to get the F out. I remember my dad got some or all, I can't remember, I'm assuming all, of his clothes in. They were going back and forth when it comes to a bottle of alcohol. My mom put the bottle in my dad's bag, and then my dad, keep putting it back where it was, kind of that kind of back and forth, and game kind of situation. And when my dad put it back, then my dad practically left the door. So there were times, and I just want to do a disclaimer, it might not be in no specific order when I'm telling you this. So there were times that my sister and I became in the middle and became my parents' messenger kind of situation, more like my dad wants my sister and I to go tell my mom more. When we were younger, my sister and I lived with my mom. My mom was the home place. So when something like, oh, I have to go home, well, home is with mom. We did got to see my dad every Wednesday and then every other weekend, by weekends. And then when it comes to holidays like Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's kind of thing, it gets split in half. So half Thanksgiving break, I was with one parent, and then the other half is with the other kind of situation. At first, it was a struggle of a new chapter, a new thing. At times, wonder if I was the reason why it happened. Notice things increased, like drinking between parents, seeing and hearing my dad bugging and my mom to come back and giving my mom crap and whatnot. At times, my sister or I became the adults at one parent's house. Over time, it became very frustrating and irritating. With my experience when they split up, it was, in some ways, I was happy, but some moments I wasn't too happy. one of the reasons for my memory was not having to hear them fighting and slamming stuff and just, my happy-ish part. The reason why I wasn't too happy was more trouble than it should be. More like house bouncing between one parent to another in certain situations. When it comes to certain parent wasn't being mature when needs to be, or taking things too seriously sometimes, not being heard as much from one parent than the other, annoying if parents are going to show up and staying at an event. And then now I'm going to be sharing on some things and that's overall kind of a brief experience with me. I'm going to be talking about some signs on how parents deal with divorce and then a child. And here are some of the most common feelings or actions as a kid they might feel or do, and it's not in any specific order. So a kid or an adult will probably more in common in a child is anxiety could show up or increase. It could show up or increase with any of these, or just show up in some ways. Anxiety, depression, behavior problems, anger outbursts, problems of controlling anger, physical violence towards others, lower grades in school compared to pre-divorce, substance abuse with drugs or alcohol, increation, suicidal thoughts, feeling guilt, shame, or blame, thinking it's their fault, health is going downhill, and social problems. And most of them was me. There were a few things that does not define me. I hope this podcast helps you in any shape or form to maybe understand why your children might be struggling or acting the way they are when it comes to parent divorcing. I hope you guys like this podcast. If you do, let me know. And I will see you in the next week on Wednesday. Bye.